Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors, a Spartan, Harsey, Nessmuk rendition. And guys, before we jump into it, let me just say this. I don't do politics, religion, or her. I've made that very plain, but that doesn't mean I don't have my own beliefs, my own convictions, and my own standards. I just choose to keep them to myself. This is a knife channel. I love my country. I believe in my country. And we are in a difficult time right now. But I'm not going to get on here and waste your time with my political ramblings. Just not going to do it. As a father of a son who has served, is serving again, and there's a very high chance he will be deploying at the end of the year, I'm keeping my political leanings to myself. I love this land, love the nation. That being said, let's jump right into it. Bill Harsey is perhaps one of my all-time favorite designers. He's in my top three. I've said that a million times. Spartan Harsey Folder, my all-time favorite pocket knife. I love the Spartan Harsey Kukri. I love the Spartan Harsey Defensa. That one's in one of my top three all-time knives altogether. I just love Bill's designs. He has very, very practical designs and very practical takes. And here again, he's done that on their Nessmuk. Now, that's made out of 1095 Crovan. HRC on it's 56 to 58. The blade thickness is 0.1875 inches. The overall length is 10 inches. The blade length is 5¼ inches with about a 5-inch cutting edge. The handle length's 5¼ The inner grip, because of the way the pommel is done, you can actually use the bottom side of the pommel. So it goes from anywhere from 3¾ inches to 4½. Plenty of inner grip there, and that's where your knuckles rest. The handle thickness is 3/4 inches. I got 10.8 ounces on the weight, or 0.680 pounds. It does have a lanyard hold at the bottom. It's contoured black injection molded handle scales. I'll tell you this, guys. Here's what my channel does. We use knives. That's what we do. We're not trying to break it. If I wanted to break it, I'd break every one of them. I don't want to do that. I want to use it. I want to see how well it does. I am a Nessmuk freak. I love that Nessmuk shape. It's a very utilitarian design. It's made for a lot of tasks, and I adore it. I really do. And this is honestly, one of the best iterations I've ever used. The knife came super sharp. It's got a great toothy edge. Now, the blade is powder coated. I didn't do anything to remove any of that powder coated. It seems to hold on there pretty well. Coatings is kind of my deal. That's what I do for a living, powder coating and blasting specifically, so I'll keep an eye on that. The handle, to me, is perfection personified. For me, all I can tell you is about the knife in my hand. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you about. I don't like making broad state. I don't like doing any of that. That doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do me any good. We did some batoning. We did some chopping. We did some slicing. And we just used the knife, right? I've said it a billion times. Nothing I do on here is scientific. Not a damn thing. I'll say this. We did light batoning. I don't really do that in real life. But being a knife channel, I do use it some. It puts pressure on the edge and things like that. Now, I've seen one dude get on the Peterbilt knife guy saying he was a trender. I don't know what the hell that means. I guess I'm a trender too. What he don't know is how trendy I really am. Old Scab's a big-time trender, son. Born to trend, if you will. Here's the thing about this knife, and I'm sitting here holding it as I'm doing my narration, right? I'm a huge Spartan Blades fan. I always have been. We had Curtis on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Look that one up. That was a great one. But I love what they do. I love what they stand for. And I love how functional their blades are. Whether Bill designs them or Curtis or Mike or whoever on the design, they really, really do a good job. Now, I don't know if K-Bar made this one for him. I'm thinking so because of it being 1095 Crovan. But it is really a well done knife. I didn't have any hot spots in the handle. And what I was doing with this, let me explain that real quick. I wasn't trying to go dead center mass and just go blowing down it. That's about a 2.5 inch diameter. It's dried out. It's harder than a brick bat. The thing is this, guys, we're in the middle of July, in the middle of a damn swamp ass period, heat wave, super hot here in Northeast Florida. However, we're out here at the studio over at Kirk's house, so I'm getting a lot of this processed up. Now, I think this is a camphor tree. I'll tell you this fall, I've got about 5 campouts planned out. Now, will they come to fruition? That's going to depend on the weather, but doing 4 or 5 from the property. So I'm trying to get a bunch of tinder, a bunch of kindling, this stuff right here fires off like jet fuel, son. So right there, I'd bitten off a little more. And my point was, what I was trying to do with the batoning was not only just put pressure on the edge and hold on to the damn thing, attaboy scabber, but go in little thinner strips. See, not all of this channel is just showing you the knife work. A lot of this channel is me figuring out what's the best way to use the knife, right? I'm not the QVC. I have no affiliation with Spartan at all. But I still want to learn how to use the knife. If anybody ever really figured out what I actually do on the channel, I'll probably never get another subscriber. But that's okay. We'll keep it a secret. We're just learning how to use the knife. One thing both Kirk and I were super impressed with is the stabbing. It went up to get 4 pieces of tire. Now, it's all kind of tread, guys. We've got all kind of tread mixed in there. Some's reinforced, some's not. But honestly, and let me explain how we do it. Now watch, what I'm doing is resetting my grip. I'm showing you that. But you see, it's not a psycho punch. It doesn't have to be. The tip is very, very, very well designed. It's a great tip. Even though it's on a Nessmuk style, they really did a phenomenal job on this tip. It's reinforced. And I got to thank my guy JR for sending this one. Of course he sent this one. JR is behind a lot of these great knives. Brother, thank you so much. Credit to you, because I absolutely adore this blade. I love the Nessmuk style. I like the nostalgia of it. I like the history of it, but I like this modern take. I like the materials. Why? 1095 Crovan is actually a very, very, very old steel. I believe it comes from Sharon's steel in the early 1900s, so it's a tried and true steel. It's easy to sharpen in the field and maintain, right? And that's big. I like that this knife came with a toothier edge. Toothy edges to me, and it's my preference for like bushcrafty and video type stuff. If we're going to show the knife, I want the best edge on there possible. A lot of people like a polished edge, and that's great. But when we're demonstrating the knife, I have found personally, for me in this channel, and again, that's all I can discuss, the toothier edge helps. Now we're just doing a little cutting right there. I like putting pressure on the tip right there. It's not so much putting pressure, but it's kind of mimicking some skinning, caping if you were having to go through some hide, that ratchet strap there. And just it gives me a good idea how sharp that tip is. The other side is this. This is straight out of the box. Here we're just going to clear a little brush. I'm going to do like a little tri-stick type stuff. One thing you got to know, if you're not from Florida, you'll never understand it. There is one huge vine that connects all of Florida and holds everything up. And when you see me just swinging randomly, I'm not just swinging randomly. I'm swinging at the briars and the vines and everything else. Old Scab looking kind of lean there, son. Leaning on out, down to 255. Had my doctor's appointment the other day. He was impressed. He was amazed. I'll tell you what was kick-ass, guys. I walk every night for an hour. The distance varies depending on the heat index, but I walk every night for an hour. Got up this morning, took my blood pressure, best it's ever been, but my heart rate was right at 55. I'm very, very proud of that. If you know, you know, and you know that I've had some heart issues in the past. We've got a cardiology appointment set up, and we're going to take care of those things. But feeling pretty good. I'm down to about 255. We're marching on. Back to it. I wanted just to occupy a little time, and I know people don't worry about Old Scab. You don't have to worry about Old Scab. You know what I'm saying? Old Scab gonna be all right, son, one way or the other. But here's the deal, in all honesty. What I wanted to do, I talked to Kirk, and we were very, very impressed with the stabbing of this knife. And here's the thing. Some knives just aren't made or built for stabbing. They're just not. Some knives aren't made for chopping, blah, blah, blah. This knife seems to be really good at a lot of different tasks. That's the kind of knife I look for. I like a Nessmuk. Again, the history of the Nessmuk, the whole 9 yards. But there's something about this particular build that I really like. I really like the way it feels in hand. I like the balance point of it. I like the sharpness of it. I like the maneuverability. It's got some nice aggressive jimping at the top of the handle so that if you have to put your thumb there, you can. I also like that when you're just kind of in a hammer fist grip there like we are now, just kind of working it in, doing some small tasks with it, it doesn't allow you to slide. You get a really, really good grip. We got a really nice point there. And here we're just going to shave some stuff up. Some of these, guys, I let run a little long. I do that on purpose. I want to give you the best look at the knife I can. Again, I'm not worried about a time limit. I'm not worried about going viral. I'm not worried about any of that. People are going to watch these or they're not. For those of you that watch, I am so appreciative. Thank you for spending time with me, for checking the knife out. So I want to give you the best look I can. Sometimes, honestly, I get a little too tied up into it. I was just down and really honestly kind of focused on what I was doing. I didn't realize the clip ran this long, but I tried to use every ounce of the knife. And basically what I was doing is making little spear points. I know it just looks like random stuff, but actually I was using the knife to do little random spear points. Again, the control of the knife is phenomenal. Would I carry it? Hell yeah, I'd carry it. I want one for myself. JR, thank you. Curtis, great job. Spartan, K-Bar, love y'all. That being said, guys, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, I back the blue. It's not popular, and that's okay. I'm not trying to shove it down your throat or convince you. It's a personal conviction I believe in. Finally, if you're an addict, that's as big, never quit quitting. Well, there's Megatron. I'm scared. You're not. Spartan, Harsey, Nessmuk. Badass, son. We gone.